Okay, welcome back to the channel everybody. It's Mike Newton down here at Penrith Golf Hub, and it's an iron head-to-head video for you today, and for me, two really good irons. And many of you have requested this video too, so pleased to sort of bring this one to you. So we've got the new Srixon ZX7 Iron. So a new iron coming out from Srixon, which is very nice. Done a full review of that on my channel. You can go and check that out. Forged head. Srixon always do some really nice irons. And maybe a little bit more under the radar as well. Srixon is maybe some of the bigger sort of forged brands. And I'm going to put up against the heavyweight here, the Titleist T100. So obviously a very popular iron from Titleist, again fully forged. Both got a little bit of tungsten in there, but we're going to test them against each other, and maybe if you're in the market for this type of iron, it might give you some ideas of what you would then go out and try yourselves. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Srixon ZX7. So offering some Srixon, got a blade, then the ZX7, so it's a small sort of cavity, very nice sort of appearance, and then obviously you've got the ZX5, a little bit chunky, a little bit more sort of friendlier. So it's a popular iron. I think it's this types of irons, again with the T100 as well, ticks a lot of boxes. You've got the look, you've got a little bit of forgiveness in there, and a little bit of tech in the way that we've got with the Srixon, the V-sole. We've got some tungsten in that toe section, so again it's creating MOI. We've got some laser milling on the grooves and everything like that, but apart from that there's nothing too wacky in terms of tech involved. Very nice behind the golf ball, and a nice opening shot. Sounds really good. You know, I've always been a fan of Srixon irons. I've played with them in the past. Just great solid irons, and a good price point as well. They always tend to be a little bit cheaper than your mainstream sort of forged irons. It's a nice shot as well, nice neutral flight. So this, as I mentioned, maybe is a 7 iron. It's 32 degrees of loft, so there is a little bit of a difference of loft just between these two clubs. T100 is coming in at 34, so we're going to have to play that into account there. The reason why I've picked these two irons, they're both similar in their heads. We've got a little bit of tungsten there, and it's a similar category, isn't there? But two quite different lofts. I know many of you always like to see me do loft versus the same loft, which I appreciate, but that is always difficult sometimes because all the brands are just slightly different on the lofts, aren't they? But maybe a good way to see, you know, what does that 2 degrees difference make in this particular ZX7 head against the 2 degrees extra with the T100. Yeah, so that's lovely. Great sound, great look. Good feel off that club face. Looks to be some decent numbers. Nice little bit of group in there. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so there's 5 shots. Probably the best strike I've hit though. That last one, they're not runner shots there, to be honest. Yeah, really good carry number there. So there's 5 shots hit with that ZX7. Let's move into the T100. Right, okay, so T100, great looking iron. Again, we've got some technology in here in terms of tungsten placed in the head. We've got that small cavity in that back section. It's not a distance hitting club here, and obviously the loft, as we just mentioned earlier, is a little bit more. It's 34 degrees of loft, so we're probably not going to expect this to go the same distance as the Srixon. But what I just want to see here is what is the difference from that 2 degrees, and also what's the difference of the spin. Okay, because I think many of you out there, if you're looking for that type of look, that feel, that forged head, but you might want some extra yards there, and you may be a high ball flyer, you might have that stopping power, you might be a high spinner of the golf ball. You know, the 32 degree in the Srixon could be a really good option to try and actually reduce a little bit of height or reduce a little bit of spin. So there's options there, isn't there? And so again, it doesn't always have to be a video of same loft against same loft. Different lofts. I think the irons, as I mentioned, are in a different category. So look wise behind the ball, a little bit more squat from that heel to toe with blade length with the T100, so it is a slightly smaller head. Offset looks very similar. Top line's quite slim. It's a great looking iron, don't get me wrong. You know, it is a stunning looking iron. So same shaft, same lie, same length, everything like that. And not a too bad opening one. I didn't get all of that. I should have dropped a little bit of ball speed there. Yeah, just caught that touch heavy. That's a nice strike. Feel is as good as the Srixon. I think, you know, they're both very similar on the sound. Obviously that forged, sort of more muted sort of sound. Just getting slightly up that left hand side. Strike was good though again. So possibly should maybe see with the loft difference, a little bit less ball speed, maybe a little bit more spin. Oh, it is quite a cold day down here at Penrith. That's lovely. Really nice ball flight. Just visually there, it does look to be a touch higher there, as you'd probably expect that little bit extra loft. I think with that feel off the club face, they both feel really, really good. I think the biggest difference probably between those would be the looks of it, and the T100, as I mentioned before, just a little bit more squat, not quite as big on that blade length. So maybe a little bit more daunting. Imagine if you're getting that longer iron in your hands, might just be a little bit more daunting possibly. Again, it depends how you feel and what your personal preferences of a look. Lovely. Plenty of stopping power on that, just with the descent angle alone there, to be honest. Okay, right, so there's 5 shots hit with that T100. Let's go and check some numbers out in a little bit more detail. Right, okay, so let's look at those numbers. So we've got in the white on the bottom and the yellow on the top. So the white, there's Srixon, yellow, the Titleist. As you can see there, the club head speed's absolutely identical. Ball speed, as you would expect, a little bit more faster off the club face as an average. So 2 mile an hour quicker there. Obviously, we've got that 2 degrees less loft, so that ball will come off that club face a little bit quicker, as we'd expect. You see launch angle touch lower. Again, for that loft, you're going to expect that. And the spin's quite similar, isn't it, on those batch of 5 shots hit. 4913, a fraction lower, but not a lot. And I thought that might have been a little bit more. So that's where we're going to see a little bit more distance there. So you can see 192 carry against 187 as an average. So with that ball coming off a little bit faster, touch lower, and a little bit less spin, that's what's going to make it go through that air a little bit quicker, won't it? You can see it's interesting, the descent angle's exactly the same, isn't it? So it's still going to peak out very similar on the height because you've got the speed, but so the descent angle's the same. So this is what I was sort of saying before. If you need that little bit of extra distance, not too worried about the spin too much, still getting the descent angle. Again, it all depends on how you deliver club, how you launch it, how you flight the golf ball. Then, you know, the Srixon obviously can give you those little bit extra yards, similar sort of spin model there, but obviously just a little bit more speed. Okay, so there we go. There's the Srixon ZX7 against the Titleist T100. So post comments down below, let you know your thoughts on that particular video. Have you got either of these sets in the bag, or are these on your radar to go out and maybe possibly try yourself? As my message to you would always be, please go and try these, please go and get fitted. Lots of different shaft options, light options as well, which will all influence performance. So very important that you do get these fit and you're not just going to buy these blind. Okay, appreciate watching the video as always. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, share the video around, and also subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.